Right, let me just give you a bit of information on why I'm making this video. Right, here's my Yamaha YZF-R 125. I bought it for £1,500. The advert said that it had a slight knocking on the engine, and the guy who I bought it off thought that it was the valves what needed clearing and adjusting. So anyway, I bought the bike, took it to the garage. The guy said that the knocking sound sounds like the piston, and if he did the valves for me, he'd charge me £150 to do the valves. If it wasn't the valves and it was still knocking after he'd done it, he said it would be the piston in the engine, which would be a £600 job. So anyway, what I did, and I'm new to all this bike mechanic stuff, and it's the first time I've ever done anything like this. But what I did, the engine, what you can see on the bike, is a second-hand rebuilt engine. It's had a top-end rebuild on it. So, to save myself £600, I attempted to do it myself. I haven't started the bike up yet. All I've done is fitted the new engine. There's my old one. The first day I rode the bike, when I bought it, the piston went in it. So it wasn't the valves, it was the actual piston in the bottom end. So this is a video on basically how to fit or take out a YZF-R engine. And it's pretty simple. All you have to do is just start taking the bits off the side of the engine. For example, these two bolts here, just hold that airflow pipe on there, which connects to your exhaust pipe, because there's a pipe what comes off your exhaust. I haven't got my exhaust on at the minute because on the new engine, light's a bit shit, but I haven't got no engine stud bolts, so I have to buy some. And then there's a plug here, you unplug that, and then there's a pipe there what leads to your radiator. You just unplug that pipe, take it off, then you take your radiator off by the bolt at the top and the bolt at the top on the other side. And if we go around the other side, this is the other side of the engine, and you can see there you've got a pipe what comes from the radiator to the engine there, where your cooling system is and that. And then you've got another pipe there on your radiator, what goes at the back of your horn to there, what plugs on your engine. And then this plug here just goes down there to your stand, and that just plugs into your wiring loom. Every single plug what you unplug is different to the next one, so you can't get mixed up in plugging the plugs back in. Right? All I did was just take note of where the pipes went and where the plugs went. Right? Under there, underneath the petrol tank, because I did this video when I put it back together and realised I should have done it when I first started. But under the tank, you've got a little black plastic clip what your petrol pipe connects to underneath there. Goes from there all the way down here to the top of your engine. It's just a bolt and a plug. Take that out, and then obviously you've got an engine mount bolt there, and then you've got one there, one finger is, and then you've got one up here, right at the top underneath the tank. When you've unplugged it all, loosened your engine mount bolts off a tiny bit, then you'll have to start taking off your cog, what your chain goes on at the front of the at the back of the engine, and you just undo these two little nuts here on the cog. You've got a plate
the little oval plate behind them two nuts, what you turn halfway and you slide it off. Obviously loosen your wheel up and take your chain off the back, and then take it off the cog at the front. And then when you've took the two bolts out, turn that little plate halfway or until you feel it sliding off, and then your cog on the engine should slide off. And then all it basically is a case of getting a helping hand. I didn't even have a bike stand or nothing. I just got my friend who helped me to drop the engine down and lift it out. And I put the new one in, and then just plugged all the plugs back in, plugged my radiator and everything back in. There was a few pipes what I noticed what wasn't even connected. For example, this pipe at the bottom here, it runs all the way up here, and then it goes all the way along to the back, and what it does, it plugs into your battery there. It's like an overflow pipe for your battery acid. Other than that, everything I found quite easy, and for some garage to charge me £600 to do that, I started the job last night by taking my old engine out because I knew my new one was getting delivered this morning. My new one came at 2 o'clock this afternoon, and the time is now about 9:30 at night. So the reason why I haven't put my plastics on yet is because I need to get some engine coolant, fill my radiator up, which is by taking that cap off there. You fill it up, and then you fill this bottle to the top line, and then you start it up. Obviously make sure you top it up with oil, engine coolant, petrol, and then you obviously turn it on. See if you hear all the injectors and that making a noise in your petrol pump, and then away you should go. And that's about it, folks. See, it might sound a little bit hard, but it is actually easy, and it'll save you a lot of money. There's all my plastics on the floor, and I bet a lot of people didn't know that this, your petrol tank, yeah, that is actually a plastic cover for your petrol tank. And all you do is just grab it at that side and that side at the bottom underneath, and then when you're putting it on, you open it so it's a bit wider, and then you slide it on top of there. Obviously take your filler cap off when you do this, and when you're removing the plastic bit. But when I bought it, I didn't realise that it had that mark there on the corner of the tank. But then when I took it to bits and noticed this other guy on YouTube who did valve clearance, showed me how to take all my plastics off. So that's about it. Everything's easy to put back on, and then away you go. All I'm going to do now is take my battery off, charge it until I've got some coolant, and then so I know I'll have enough power to start the bike. And then that's it. I'll put another video on of me actually starting the bike when I've got the coolant and stuff, which shouldn't be too long. So thanks a lot for watching. See ya.